10 Mistakes That Haunt Yellowstone's final season. Yellowstone has been one of the most popular TV series in recent years, but the last season undoubtedly left a bad taste in people's mouths. After years of character development and setting up a compelling story, the show called it quits out of the blue without giving the storylines a proper ending. Kevin Costner's absence seemed to prompt a quick wrapping up, disappointing the fans, who had invested time and energy in the series. Additionally, Yellowstone has been slowly and steadily losing quality. Character development was faulty for several seasons, and self-indulgent scenes became increasingly prominent. The series is still a worthwhile watch for fans of the Western genre, but there is no doubt the show could have closed on much better terms. The final season of Yellowstone is full of confusing and unnecessary flashbacks. Yellowstone ended with 5 seasons to explain and give more meaning to present events. Season 5, Part 2 of Yellowstone, decided to include flashbacks to moments before John Dutton's death. While there is nothing wrong with contextualizing a TV series, Yellowstone included these flashbacks among present-day scenes without giving any sign of the time of the event. For example, it shows moments between Rip and Beth in Texas that are hard to appreciate because viewers don't know when they occur in the past or the present. Additionally, it seems like these flashbacks don't move the plot forward. They explain a bit about John's death and how it happened. However, people didn't need a step-by-step explanation, including a scene of Sarah Atwood hiring the murderer and much less the moment of John's actual murder without Kevin Costner on the scene. Other scenes, such as Beth and Rip's, are even more unnecessary. These are characters people already know, love, and understand, so these fillers didn't add much to a show running out of time and trying to salvage the storyline. A lot of the final Yellowstone episodes felt like fillers. The last season of Yellowstone was divided into 2 parts, with 8 and 6 episodes. In this age of streaming services, people would argue that shows like the iconic fan service episodes that characterized many weekly TV shows in the past. However, no one wants a filler episode when the show is ending. After following Yellowstone's family dynamics and complex plot for almost a decade, people expected a satisfying and well-crafted final season. However, the final season of Yellowstone abuses flashbacks, self-indulgent scenes, and fan service. Many moments, such as Colby's death, continue to illustrate the dangers of cowboy life without really adding necessary information to the plot. For example, how come a governor can be killed in his sleep without causing social chaos? This and many other questions are ignored as the show continues to showcase the cowboy lifestyle as if a catastrophic and political event didn't happen. Too many cowboy corny scenes plagued the last season of Yellowstone. The last episode aired on December 15, 2024. Yellowstone has always been a self-indulgent show on some levels, but the last season took it too far. It's hard to find the plot and the character development among many panoramic scenes with cows and other animals. There are also too many scenes of cowboys riding horses and flexing their skills, especially Travis. It makes sense that a Western would delight viewers with some moments of bucolic life and feature real-life cowboys. The problem is that Yellowstone is a TV show, not a cowboy lifestyle documentary. While the fandom appreciates Taylor Sheridan's attention to detail, the setting is, after all, just the background for a particular story that explores themes and motifs. Beth and Case's visions are ridiculous. Only Beth and Case survive out of John's children. The last season of Yellowstone took its cheesy elements to the next level, and the one that caused the most cringe among the audience was Case and Beth's visions of John's death. The 2 siblings felt John's death physically and emotionally, even when they had no way of knowing their father had been murdered. Beth strongly thinks something is wrong, and Case even has a nightmare. The problem is that the show had never introduced any supernatural or spiritual element. John Dutton had been about to die a couple of times, but Beth and Case didn't feel it or forebode it in any way. The fact that Beth, and especially Case, who wasn't close to John, suddenly developed such a bond with their father made the series seem like a soap opera, exploiting the drama and creating emotional porn. No one liked Travis' character. Taylor Sheridan played Travis Wheatley. Taylor Sheridan, the creator of Yellowstone, introduced a character in the show, played by him, Travis Wheatley. He first appeared in the early stages of the show, but became a recurring face in the last season. However, It's impossible to take Travis' character seriously because he is extravagantly self-inserted. Travis is a cocky yet talented writer that comes at the right time to save the day. He helps Yellowstone Ranch sell its horses at great prices, making them look good. Travis has no relationship with any characters, although he's supposedly a good friend to Rip. Still, the story follows him looking great, selling horses, and even making a fool out of Beth. Still, the show gave him a lot of spotlight in the last season, and since the character isn't a part of the story, he doesn't grow as a character, nor add anything to the show's themes. Yellowstone had terrible character development in the end. All the Yellowstone characters act erratically in the end. Yellowstone introduced a fascinating group of characters at the beginning of the show, but the storylines faltered as the series progressed and eventually crashed and burned in the series finale. The all-powerful, fearless Beth ends the story doing her father's bidding and buying another ranch for yet another man. The academic and social justice activist that was Monica decides to have a rancher's life, and Jamie amounts to a low-ranking villain with no depth and is pretty easy to defeat. This was no news. In the beginning, the audience roots for Jamie, but after he kills the woman, he seems to go to the dark side without even considering his bond with his family. It's hard to believe that someone who had put so much on the line for his father, even killing a person not to disappoint him, would eventually fully turn his back on the Duttons. Tom Rainwater, who began as a ruthless businessperson and leader, softened his approach and eventually received the Yellowstone land as a present. The ending was clearly rushed. Yellowstone was wrapped up in only 6 episodes.